Cognitive bias is an area that's gaining a lot of interest as social scientists learn more and more about how our brain likes to work and how that isn't always in our best interests. And actually, one example of this that's very relevant for salespeople is something that has the rather grand name of hyperbolic discounting. And hyperbolic discounting is quite a well-known phenomenon in behavioral economics. And it's basically where we tend to take the immediate return that's in front of us rather than planning over the longer term. And of course, it's very easy to see a parallel here with sales, where if there is an obvious sales opportunity in front of us, there is a tendency sometimes to grab that opportunity without necessarily actually looking beyond or around the side of that opportunity and recognizing that there is a larger opportunity. So cognitive bias can play an important role here. So aside from the rather grandly named hyperbolic discounting, there are some other common cognitive biases that we should be aware of. Perhaps the most important of these for salespeople is something called confirmation bias. And confirmation bias is where we see something that we feel that we've seen before. So we recognize, for example, that if a client has a particular challenge that they're trying to face, that we've seen something like that before, and therefore we know A, what the problem is, and B, we know how to fix it, for example. And of course, what that can lead to is two behaviors that are not particularly good for us. One is a tendency not to listen because we think we already know the answer, and sometimes perhaps to interrupt the customer or client while they're speaking because we think that we know the answer. And the second thing that might work against us here is that we tend to go straight to a solution because we think we know what the answer is, when in fact if we listened a bit more and perhaps were more open and asked more questions, we might find that there is more to this than meets the eye. So again, sometimes we'll jump to offering a solution which is not actually the thing that the client might be looking for, because actually it doesn't answer the bigger picture questions that we're failing to ask because we're making certain assumptions based on our understanding of having seen something before.